proud sponsor of the Challenge Cup on Sky Sports.
You can see Hull KR against Salford and Wakefield against Hull live on the Sky Sports website via our dedicated online channel Sky Sports Extra. Simply head to www.skysports.com/extra and log in using your Sky ID and password. You can also watch both matches via the Sky Sports for iPad app and navigate to our dedicated Rugby League section.
It is a Super League bonanza for you on Sky Sports. 4 live games starting on Tuesday. Hull Kingston Rovers Salford, 8 p.m. on Sky Sports Extra and Sky Sports for iPad app. Sky Sports Extra and Sky Sports for Sky Sports iPad app again on Wednesday. Wakefield Hull FC, 8 p.m. for that one. And then on Thursday, we travel to the Halliwell Jones Stadium where Wigan are the visitors, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 1. And a top of the table clash on Friday from Headingley. Leeds Rhinos, St Helens, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 1. Focus right now is on the Challenge Cup. Half-time here at the KC Lightstream Stadium. Chris Chester's side, 26 points to 4 in front against the Catalan Dragons. All to do for the Dragons. Time now to go to the commentary team of Barry McDermott, Terry O'Connor, led by Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. And Hull Kingston Rovers very much on course for a first semi-final appearance since 2006. It would take a real turnaround in this game, but hang on a minute, isn't that what happened when these two sides met earlier in the season and Catalan were leading by 20 points to 4, and the roof fell in on them, and Hull Kingston Rovers ended up winning 50 points to 20. So it can be done. Will Laurent Fraser-New have been saying that in the dressing room, or will he have been continuing his displeasure at the way that match went for his side in the first 40 minutes? Aggrieved, I think, is the word you would say about the Catalan Dragons. Robins, nothing for them to feel aggrieved about. Dominant performance from them to get this 26 points to 4 lead, and a lot more dominant than people thought it would be. There was even talk of golden point extra time ahead of this game, but can't really see that one happening. Giroud hoists a high kick, spiralling in the air. Dixon solid as a rock underneath it. Well, Chris Chester must have been a happy man. Laurent Fraser-New obviously wasn't. Let's hear what the half-time news is from Angela.
No, he wasn't. I have to say, I wish my French was a little bit better, because you could hear practically every word coming out of that changing room, even though I was a little bit further down the corridor. Lots of very loud words and very vociferous message getting through to the players. The message, the translation is to be more patient with the ball in hand. Don't try to force things. Everything will come through patience, and they've got to earn the right to play down the other end of the field. And as you can imagine, Chris Chester has said, more of the same, really. Stay with this aggressive nature of pushing the game towards the Catalan Dragons. They've displayed it so well so far, they've just got to carry on that way.
5, move! Lunt scanning for Hull Kingston Rovers. 5. And then Maurice Blair hoists the kick. It's not a deep one, but Mantellato has gathered it, and the referee has said Giroud got a hand in there, and it's... Release! No, Krishnan Inu has got the ball. A bit of shoving there, Lunt and Krishnan Inu. And the former New Zealand international, not impressed with that challenge.
Well, that's not a surprise, Bill, if Angela's correct. Laurent Fraser-New has had a real go at his team. I don't speak much French, but I can translate, and I can assume that it's, listen, we're going to be out of the cup unless we fire in and do to Hull KR what they've done to us. A little bit of nonsense going on at the play of the ball, but don't take any rubbish and get on the front foot, Dragons.
Lunt was not impressed with, rather Inu was not impressed with the tackle from Sean Lunt. So Catalan, well, if they're going to do something about it, they've really got to get points on the board early in the second half here. Here goes Henderson, darting run from him up the middle.
Move! Hold who?
Garcia now. Giroud, Whitehead, so that's good defence. Maurice Blair with the tackle that time. Across the field, Stan Robin now, but he's upended by Albert Kelly's tackle. Zeb Teya Crossfield kick from Giroud. CO.
Knock on. 0.
It's a knock on in actual fact by Krishnan Inu, says the referee.
They just don't seem to be asking enough questions, and when the ball goes in the air, well, that seems to be the only chance that they have, because in good ball, and this is the area that they call good ball when you're attacking close to the opposition's line, they've just not asked enough questions, and in yardage, bringing the ball away, they've not been good enough. You look at what Hull KR did in that first half, they just made one mistake, completed at 94%, and they didn't give a penalty where, well, this is the frustration now.
Louis Anderson on Sean Lunt, that was.
There's a big difference between get stuck in and be reckless and careless with your tackles. That's only going to hurt you and cost you penalties. Sean Lunt jumping out, he'll do that to most defenders. He'll really challenge them, because as we saw when he passed the ball to Mantellato, he's really accurate with his passes.
Halfway line for Hull Kingston Rovers, and here is big Dane Tills, all 6'6" of him.
Move, Ben! Hold! Go on.
Kelly. Graham Horn.
Now that's how you do it. That's a legal shot from Elliot Whitehead on Horn.
Graham Horn, first half try scorer. Tills. Kelly, first half try scorer. Dixon, first half try scorer. CO looking for his second of the game, but tackled on the 20-metre line.
They're linking up well, them two, Dixon and CO.
Go 3 straight up, come on!
Leroyer, well, that was down by his toes. Been 1 or 2 of those from Rovers, but Kelly managing to do something to take Rovers forward to the 20-metre line. Just a little nudge there from Muniz, I think, but here's Tills. That's the 5th tackle.
Well, they were going at Yaha in the first half. They're going back to him.
The ball was taken in the air by Salter, it was, who got up there.
Well, it was mission accomplished to come up with this ball. You could see that Yaha's gone past where the ball came down, and it went straight into Salter's hands. Unfortunately, can't go over that try line.
2, move!
Comes from a good pedigree, Fouad Yaha. Both his uncles have played. Well, one uncle played for Paris Saint-Germain right at the early days of Super League. Another uncle played for SC Avignon. Long ball, oh, they've got away with it, and then they've lost it, and Elliot Whitehead just couldn't gather that ball. Inu, well, that's great footwork from him, but he's going to come all the way back, or the referee watching, and Inu's going to dot it down. Phil Bentham's obviously not convinced, but it looks as though Elliot Whitehead had just dropped that ball.
Well, just play to the whistle. Pass it upstairs to the video referee. If the ball goes on the floor, Phil Bentham, the referee.
Well, nobody was sure, was there? Nobody was sure. So just keep playing on then. I include the referee in that. I think the referee, with his body language, he's already signalled a no try.
Whitehead indicated to Phil Bentham there that he actually kicked the ball.
Well, does he regather it? Nah, he loses control of that. He loses control. If he would have got hold of that ball, got a clean catch, so he's holding it with 2 hands.
Is there an argument to say he's hit it with his knee first? I'm clutching at straws.
He still loses possession, but it's a knock on.
Not if he hits it with his knee first.
He drops the ball with his hands.
Well, Phil Bentham waiting for the video ref's decision. Steve Danson and Joe Cobb doing the duties.
Okay.
Looked like a knock on from the word go.
Yeah.
And Krishnan Inu was all ready to give himself up, and then I thought, well, nobody else is stopping, so I'll carry on.
Even though he gets his foot to the ball, he doesn't take control, or he doesn't catch the ball cleanly. Look, when
my argument is he hits it with his knee.
It doesn't matter, because he's actually lost the ball.
My argument with it is he picks it up and he hits it with his knee. Watch here now.
I agree, it hits his knee, but he's not in control of the ball.
And that's what Phil Bentham and Steve Ganson think.
But if you look at Catalan in that set of 6, they weren't trying to play through Hull KR. What they were trying to do, they were trying to play outside of them. And again, the frustration.
It was a great opportunity, wasn't it? If Whitehead had taken that ball, then it might have been...
Well, the pass had to be better, though, didn't it?
as it is. Head and feet to Rovers on the Catalan 40-metre line after all that.
Goal, 1.
Now here's Liam Salter.
2. Move now.
Tackled by Stanislas Rabin. Lunt across the field to Kelly. Kelly onto Maurice Blair. Dixon, foot to the floor, little stutter from Kieran Dixon, but Whitehead makes the tackle. Donaldson now, that looked high. Ooh, from the crowd. Referee Phil Bentham saw nothing wrong with that. Garcia with the tackle on Lunt before he could do any more damage. 5th tackle. Here is Kelly now, and Kelly crossfield kick, and it's Giroud sweeping up for the Catalan Dragons. And oh, ambitious pass, and Fuad Krishnan in who it was, who just managed to keep a hold of it. He is held, says the referee. Very nearly turned out embarrassingly. Whitehead trying to sneak his way upfield. Is Tony Gigot now?
Well, they're looking for the penalty. They're looking to try and find a penalty. Look, again, playing around. Little fumble, but he controls that Krishnan Inu. And again, looking to shift the ball to play around them, and they do it in this side.
Pomeroy comes back in field, gets the pass to Louis Anderson. Anderson straight up.
Well, that might not be a bad tactic for them, obviously. You're prone to making mistakes, but throwing the ball, they've got 22 points to make up.
Here's Escaré. Escaré has Fouad Yahar outside him, but he is tackled by Ken Seo. That's a penalty. Laroyer late arriving. And I'm sure Escaré and his former colleague Kevin Laroyer would have exchanged pleasantries in French.
Well, this is criminal though, giving away the tackle, giving away a penalty on that last player. So again, just inviting Catalan a bit of field position. Oh, Morgan Escaré, all eyes there, he's threatening him, isn't he?
Here is Zebtaya now.
1, move, Liam.
Hasn't had the impact that you'd expect normally. Pomeroy steps back in field.
Move now.
Salter doing well, just clinging onto a leg there, Liam Salter. Henderson. Here's Giroud. Louis Anderson. A Wembley winner with the Warrington Wolves. Bang in front of those posts as he plays the ball. Benjamin Garcia has lost the ball, and the referee says it was stolen.
Well, Hull KR getting up really quick. Albert Kelly and James Donaldson offside.
Zebtaya! We said he'd been quiet. He's come to life. They were offside for the penalty, quickly taken by the Dragons, and they've got their 2nd points of the game. He's in pain, is Zebtaya, but he's scored 4 points for his team, his 12th try of this campaign. Laurent Fraizenou took a gamble in keeping him on the field, and have they paid a price here? It's 4 points, but it might have come at a cost.
Well, he spent 50 minutes in pain and most of the warm-up as well. Here's the penalty. Laroyer coming in, 2nd effort. And Phil Bentham awards the penalty. Here's the offside penalty. And there's a snatch at the ball as well. And lightning quick reactions. You look at Ian Henderson, good pass. Needs to be strong, needs to show some leg drive with a little man in front of him, Albert Kelly, who's not a bad defender. I think sometimes people confuse bad defenders with that extra work rate that you've got to do. Albert Kelly, it doesn't matter how good of a defender is, he has to do it over and over and over again. At some point he's going to make a mistake, and Zebtaya, he's not happy at all.
Just in fact leaving the field as Giroud lines this kick up. Zebtaya hobbling off, gets a pat from his coach. There he is, the Cook Islands international. A shake of the head, and that could be the end of his contribution to this game, as Giroud this time is on target. And Catalan have given themselves a hope here. 26-10 the scoreline. Zebtaya leaves the field after scoring a try that might just give him a hope in this game.
And with all due respect to Zebtaya, he has been quiet. He's not been his usual self, but when he's had to step up to the mark and come up with a play that's going to get Catalan back into this game, he does exactly that. So they brought on Julian Busquets now. So there's some size, there's some power. And a
ball. Here's Benjamin Garcia. With Taylor off, they'll be looking to this young French international to spark things up. He has done this season. He scored a memorable hat-trick in defeat against the Castleford Tigers. He got 2 tries in that great win against the Wigan Warriors in Perpignan not so long ago. Garcia, so he is a threat. And Rovers aren't home and dry yet. Catalan have had more of the possession in this second half as well. Stanislas Robben kicks into the corner, but Dixon hurries across and then finds Mantellato, and the crowd saw that coming, and then you could hear the intake of breath.
There was a lot more energy there. There was a lot more energy.
He was nailed on to pass that ball. He was offering it. It was a hard pass. A lot of weight behind it. Scott Giroux took one after the kick.
Well, almost weaving his way through. Good progress from him. Here's Kelly now, and Kelly straight up the middle. Thumping tackle from Remy Casti and the aforementioned Garcia. Here's James Donaldson now as Rovers move into Catalan territory and awarded a penalty. There was a Catalan hand in there, I suspect.
Well, Hull KR give a penalty away in the last play, and Catalan done exactly the same. Just 40 metres from Catalan's line. Again, one of those things that your coach doesn't want to see. This ball will be kicked out of the field of play, and they've got 6 more tackles now to score a try. Hull KR. They're playing with some speed, they're playing with some energy.
Salter plays the ball. Here is Laroyer. Oh, how he would love to score a try against, well, not his former club. They are still, strictly speaking, his club. He's just on loan at Hull Kingston Rovers, the second rower. Kelly. Nice footwork from Maurice Blair. Eventually stopped 10 metres out, just to the left of the post as Rovers are attacking the Catalan line. Tony Puletua seeing action for the first time this season after being on the outer at the Salford Red Devils. Well, this move has brought his season to life, that's for sure. Kelly, little grubber kick from him, and Catalan will sweep it up. Stan Robben still going.
Well, it was an untidy kick from Albert Kelly. 2 minute legs and feet in the way. Robben picks it up. Catalan back with possession.
Tell you what, another Catalan try, and Rovers will start to get rattled.
Bill, I was just about to say that they seem to be building it. Seems a lot more movement from the players. There's better shape. There's people pushing up in support. That wasn't there in the first half, and you can see Ian Henderson having a big influence in this game.
But they were not going to let Tony Gigot go anywhere there. Here is Julian Busquets, this big front rower. Lunt with the tackle. Henderson, off he goes. Darting and weaving. Then a long ball. Oh, that's good hands from Gigot. Great work from the centre. Little kick ahead. Christian Inu will chase it and get it. His second try of the game, if it's awarded. Phil Bentham will go to the video ref.
Tackle 4.
What's he looking at? He thinks it's a try. Was Christian Inu onside as that kick came in?
Wow, outstanding skill. He's onside a mile. And the footwork from Tony Gigot before that kick was ridiculous again. Front on angle, the ball gets down, and Catalan Dragons, you were hoping for it, Bill, they're back in the game.
Phil Bentham waits for the decision from Steve Ganson and Joe Cobb. It is another Catalan try. They have scored the last 3 tries in this game to give themselves hope now of turning this around. Christian Inu, what a start it has been. A try against Wakefield last week on his Catalan debut, and 2 in this cup tie.
Well, it looks like there's nothing on. Ian Henderson, bit of a Hail Mary pass. What about this? He fakes to kick. Chris Wellham buys the dummy. He's always chasing from that point on. A cool, composed decision to nudge the ball into the in-goal area.
Giroud. This to cut the deficit to 10 points. They're doing their best to put him off, and they've succeeded. Purses his lips and knows that that would have helped the cause.
Well, this is a bit of magic and a bit of class that Catalan needed. Played a lot in the halves, Gigot. The footwork to get rid of Wellham, and then just have a little look when he drops this ball on. But before he drops it onto the toe, he has a glance to the right side where Christian Inu is. Gives him a little nod, and that'll please the Catalan fans.
Time off. Stay back.
And they've got something to cheer about now, haven't they?
All 5 of them.
I think 2 of them from Leeds, actually. Here's Remy Casti. 26-14 the scoreline here. It's looking a lot more promising for the Catalan Dragons. They have dominated this second half, and the Rovers supporters know that they're still not home and dry. Another quarter-final coming up on Sky Sports tomorrow night. Sky Sports 3 for Hull FC against the Leeds Rhinos, the Challenge Cup holders. Another penalty goes Catalans' way. The momentum is with them.
It is, and there's some nervous players now. The ball was stripped from Ian Henderson. Definitely Catalan are the team that's playing on the front foot. Look at that now, so close to the line again, Hull KR, after conceding that try from Christian Inu.
Here's Busquets now.
First, move Tony.
Hull Kingston Rovers really haven't had a chance to dominate in this second half. Catalan have had the bulk of possession, and they've put it to good use. But Whitehead, that's good defence, great defence from Rovers. The referee said he'd call held. Chris Wellham and co kept on moving, and the penalty goes Catalan's way. Well, Lauren Fraser, who was frustrated at half-time with some of the calls, but you've got to say they're getting the rub of the green this second half.
Wellham's facing backwards, he's got his back towards the line, and even though those Hull KR fans don't like it, that's the correct decision from Phil Bentham.
Stan Robben. Here's Julian Busquets. 3 of them to stop him eventually.
Back up.
Among them, Leroyer. Henderson, Muniz now. Giroud, short ball from him.
Move now.
Whitehead, Blair with the tackle. Whitehead feeling that that could have been a penalty to the Dragons as well. Now here's Ben Pomeroy. The ball finds Fuad Yaha, but it went forwards. And Ben Pomeroy shaken ahead from the big Catalan centre.
Well, looking for that offload, but there was no space there. You could see that there was 4 Hull KR players just buying a bit of time. It goes forward anyway. But the opening 20 minutes in this second half, Hull KR, they didn't give 1 penalty away in the first half. They'd given 5 away, and that man, Lauren Fresneau, well, he'll be happy just to get any penalties, any mistakes from Chris Chester's men.
And from a Hull KR perspective, Catalan Dragons have had virtually 70% of possession, so getting to that scrum, forming everybody, having a minute to just get the messages out from the sideline. Let's settle down, enjoy some time in possession, get a good kick away and start again.
Josep Taya off the field. We know that he's been struggling right from the word go, or even before the word go in actual fact, and Angela has more detail.
Yes, when he first came off the pitch, he was really reluctant to let the physio come near him. He wanted to put ice on his leg straight away, but he pushed him away and got up and started to try and run off that injury. But he's sat down now and he's got ice on his leg, so it looks like, and I've been told by the physio that it's unlikely he'll go back on, but knowing Zeb Taya, he'll be itching to get back on if he can.
Well, he's contributed a try to the Catalan cause in this second half, which has given them grounds for optimism. But Rovers just need a steady period, really, just to take some of the steam out of this Catalan side at the moment. Here is Christian Inu, just on a deal for the remainder of this season. He's lost that ball, and there is a Hull Rovers hand in there, says the referee. It is another penalty to the Catalan Dragons.
Well, the 6th penalty now, and again just inviting Catalans back into this game. hands in, and Phil Bentham saying you've got to get out of there, and you could see the right arm of Mantellato just having a little pull at that ball. You've got to make sure you're squeaky clean when your hand's anywhere near the ball, because you don't want to give the referee any chances or any options.
Bateri struggling to get to his feet. Here is Remy Casti clinging onto that ball, nearly went without it, the Catalan front rower. Henderson, Stan Robben, with Walker all over him, and Kelly to the cause as well. I like Adam Walker here, really do like his wholehearted commitment. Giroud losing ground. Here is Gigo now. Well, he's done it to them once, but Graham Horne ain't going to let him get away with it again. Henderson. You can tell he's been in France for 5 seasons. He's got all the mannerisms, arms waving all over the place. Gallic shrugs at the referee. Little kick from Giroud. It's not a bad one, but it's Kensio getting out of trouble.
Well, looking for that repeat set of 6, but maybe that ball was to go in the air. It's always a lottery when it goes up, and you don't want people like Kieran Dixon getting the ball. Kensio just gets back in the field of play. The fans saying it was a high shot. Look at the yardage they've made here, Bill.
Great atmosphere now here. We've got a game on. The Rovers supporters know that. Catalans have come back. They're threatening this Robins lead. That's a good kick ahead. And Escarate, he's got Tyrone McCarthy breathing down his neck. And he's not going to get excellent.
Outstanding work.
Kevin Leroy and Morgan Escarate once more in each other's faces.
Do you know Bedebza though? Bedebza was the man who got out from dummy half and kicked the ball, and it was Bedebza who led the chase. These are little things that you want. So your hooker gets out, he kicks the ball, he doesn't just stand back and admire it, he pushes up, and he knows that Tyrone McCarthy, well, he misses that tackle, and then it's Bedebza and Leroy, the 2 Frenchmen.
Well, Tyrone McCarthy, I believe, he's running to collect a pass from Bedebza. And sometimes players, when they don't get the pass, they might flail their arms up, give up on the play. He reacted really well. He sprinted for all he was worth. And even though he didn't make the challenge and didn't manage to complete the tackle, he contributed massively.
It's that energy that John Bedebza and Kevin Leroy have got. I'll tell you what, it was those frogs' legs they ate when we were filming with them for Boots and all earlier in the week.
And they didn't run like snails, did they?
They certainly didn't. And they don't pick him in the garden and put him in a pan of hot water, Terry.
Can I just ask you a question, Bill? What do they taste like?
Frog's legs, delicious. I did have a taste.
I would say frogs.
Like chicken.
I would say frogs.
How many frogs have you eaten?
But lots of garlic. Here comes Kevin Leroy now.
Move! Near the line! Get on the line!
Enjoys the hospitality at that new French restaurant in Hull, and he might well be back there over this weekend as well for a feed. Celebrating a cup win, that's what they hope, into the last quarter of the game.
Move now, 4!
And Hull Kingston Rovers, have they seen off this Catalan challenge? Well, another try would maybe make it safe. Walker almost there.
Move! Short, boys.
Jason Bateri with a good tackle to deny him. Bedebza now. The ball wide, and in goes Kensio for his 2nd of the game. And that could be curtains for Catalan. Kensio, the cup hero in the win against Wigan, gets another 2 tries to his name to take it to 17 in an impressive debut season for Hull Kingston Rovers. An impressive passage of play, that. The kick and the chase, forcing the goal line dropout, and they've made sure they capitalised on that.
The Hull KR back in the driving seat now in this game. It was a sensational finish from Kensio, but it all came about from this goal line dropout. Wonderful chase from Tyrone McCarthy, and Bedebza, who put the kick in, completes the tackle. We talked about Salter and how underestimated he is over on this right edge. He avoids a defender. There's no little skill involved in this from Salter. Stops, skips in, provides the pass. And a balletic dive from Kensio.
Two more tries for Kensio. They did really well to get him on board. He's 24 years of age. To get a player of that age and that class out of the NRL.
Well, that's what you want, isn't it? You want someone who's going to come into the club with that speed, someone who wants to come over there and make a name for themselves, and that's exactly what Kensio's doing this season.
A very popular shirt. If you're a collector and you like to put your favourite player's name, you're only paying for one number and 3 letters.
That's him all over that, isn't it? That's him all over.
Just saying.
Josh Mantellato. Well, he's been a great signing as well. Thumps that one, but it's across the face of the post. Put the mockers on him. That is a more expensive shirt, Mantellato.
Do you know, Liam Salter in his 70th appearance this evening, and he doesn't panic when that ball comes out to him. He just buys a bit of time. He knows that there's space on the edge, and that's a brilliant finish from Kensio.
Well, Kensio got a hat-trick against Catalan earlier in the season, back in March. He's got 2 tries in this one. He'll fancy his chances of another hat-trick against the Dragons, who trail 30 points to 14.
Yeah, I thought so.
And have given themselves a chance to turn this around, but that try might just have made it a mission too far for them. It's been a much better second half for the Catalan Dragons. Henderson has wrong-footed them all and has got to the line, and has he got that down? The referee is having a good look at it, and he's not absolutely certain, Phil Bentham. Well, Ian Henderson caught him napping there at Hull Kingston Rovers, and the referee thinks he's got a try, but he wants to see whether Messrs Ganson and Cobb see anything wrong with that.
Well, this will be interesting, won't it? As Ian Henderson, he's short there, he tries to spin over. Does he get the ball down? It's on his arm. Does he actually ground that ball? You can see a couple of players who come in, put the hand underneath Hull KR players. I think it's Walker, the number 8, who's on top. You see Bedebza underneath. Does he get the ball down? Because when he spins over it, he plants it on his arm. Then Walker comes round. He's the man who's moving. You can see his right arm going underneath the ball to clutch it, to lift it up. There's a bit of a bobble.
I'm going to go, it's a try.
Yeah.
Looks as though it's on the greenery there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Phil Bentham sent it upstairs as a try, hasn't he?
Well, Catalan will think that Henderson, with this try close to the posts, might have given them hope still of getting the fat out of the fire here. He's short there.
He's short there, but it's when he spins over.
Press the thing, Joe, then I can hear you.
When he spins over, does he actually ground that ball? You can see Walker, Leroy, Bedebza. It'll be interesting if this try is awarded, won't it?
No,
will, because he'd fancy Giroud to
comes up, wait for me, would you?
Convert it. It's just there whether Henderson has managed to get the ball down. He has. Shake of the head from Ian Henderson. Back in the side. And Catalan haven't given this one up yet. Just his second try of the season. Giroud has quickly goaled it. 30 points to 20. Rovers aren't home and dry yet. Their supporters know that. There's an atmosphere of tension in this ground.
Well, there is a little bit of speed and haste in the Dragons players now. Even the conversion of that try, nice and quick, no messing about, get it over, and let's crack on with the game. Tony Pulatua is offside at marker. He's not allowed to join that tackle, or it's a penalty. He's got an impossible decision to make. Do I give a penalty away, or do I let Ian Henderson have free rein?
5 tries to 4, the scoreline in favour of Hull Kingston Rovers. Josh Mantellato's goal kicking has been a big factor as well. Catalan haven't been as successful with the boot.
It's just a bit quieter now, isn't it, in here? The fans really rallied.
Third, move!
when Hull KR scored their last try.
Stay square.
Just a bit of a somber mood now.
Here's Louis Anderson.
4. Move tight. Hold.
Henderson.
Go 4.
Very cool from him. He knew that just confirmed what he believed. Here he is. Giroud now. Hoist that one. Krishnan Inu is chasing after it. Inu is taken out in back play. And now here's Josh Mantellato. That was round the shoulder, but the crowd will cry for anything now. Referee signalling where he thought contact had been made.
Well, the Hull KR fans now know that Catalan are back in this game. We've still got 12 more minutes to post a couple of tries.
It's been a transformation in this contest.
Hold. Go 3.
Adam Walker now.
4. Move, Elliot.
Coming up to the last 10 minutes, that ball is...
mistake.
No, says the referee.
Oh, no, penalty.
Just for a moment, I thought Phil Bentham was going to signal a knock-on.
I thought he was going to say that was a knock-on. Then he's changed his mind.
Well, Adam Walker's trying to play that ball, and they're 50-50 decisions. Much like the first half, the first 20, 25 minutes, all seem to go the way of Hull KR.
So the penalty. Can Rovers put this game to bed?
Go.
Catalan have woken up in the second half to make life difficult for them. Here is Tyrone McCarthy. Good step from the Rovers skipper. Budebza directing operations, the little French hooker.
Come on, Tyrone, get up.
Tony Pulatua.
Move now. Goal line, boys.
It's been a great acquisition as John Budebza to take him from the French Championship and make him a player who's contributed so much. Kieran Dixon trying to use that footwork, but runs into a tackle from Henderson. He's got a bang as well as the Rovers full-back.
Still, I think there's a crusher tackle there from Garcia. That's the danger of Dixon when he runs at the line, his footwork. He was still standing up, and I think it's Garcia. You can see Henderson first has him, and then is it Bettieri? Sorry, he just puts that pressure on Dixon, traps his head. Does he put the weight down on him? I think we could be hearing more about that one.
Jason Bettieri was the last man in. Kieran Dixon felt it. We might hear more of that.
Yep.
Dangerous contact.
They are dangerous, those tackles. And let me tell you, I've had a few of them, they do hurt. And lots of things go through your mind as well, putting pressure on the back of the neck.
Phil Bentham has called out the Paris-born former Australian schoolboys player Jason Bettieri.
No, that's the result of the review.
And
pressure on the back of the neck.
The referee, Phil Bentham, just explaining what in his view happened there. And it will be the penalty for Hull Kingston Rovers, and Josh Mantellato will come and kick it for goal.
Well, it wastes a minute. It's 2 converted tries. They get the ball back near their own line, but they need to make sure that they complete the set. What do you think, Barry?
And I think as well, they're giving it to one of the coolest players on the pitch, Josh Mantellato. Whenever he's had a decision to make in this game, he's made the right one. As we watch the penalty again, sometimes those crusher situations happen accidentally because you're trying to clamp the ball. You're trying to make sure there isn't an offload that comes as a result of a tackle that's not quite finished. Whether that's deliberate or not, it's not for us to decide, but it gives the opportunity to Josh Mantellato to get another 2 points, waste another 45 seconds to a minute, and let Hull KR and the Catalan Dragons just take a minute and have a breath.
Yeah, eating a bit of time here just to put this game out of reach of the Catalan Dragons. 5 from 6 for Josh Mantellato, make that 6 from 7. 32-20. Catalan have got to score 3 times.
And you just can't see it.
2 converted tries.
2 converted tries.
Yeah. To take us to golden point extra time.
Yeah, in 9 minutes. So what's that? They've got probably 4 or 5 sets. They're going to go short here again.
Yep.
And they've won the ball back. Well, that's a start for them, but it's with Stan Robban, and he gets away from the first challenge. Jason Bateri, we understand, is on report for that incident. The tackle that involved Kieran Dixon. Long ball over the top, finds Tony Gigot. Gigot. Fuadiaha. And that's a penalty to Catalan.
High tackle.
And it's a high tackle. Maurice Blair and Tony Gigot just having a little spat there.
Well, that's a good first carry. What comes off the back of this though now?
Bateri. That's another penalty. There's a hand in there, Tyrone McCarthy. There's still a bit of desperation from Rovers. They're not comfortable in this situation at the moment. Tony Gigot.
Hold.
Gigot 5 metres out. Here is Henderson. Casti now. Pulitua with the tackle for Hull Kingston Rovers. The Robins back on their own try line now. Henderson goes down the short side. Giroud. Fuadiaha comes back in field, the young winger. Gets the pass away to Henderson. Knock on, cries the Rovers support. It was a bounce off his shins, in fact. Here's Giroud now, across the field. Then changes direction. Good defence from Pulitua again. He's making up for lost time. It's Tony Pulitua. Henderson, Whitehead.
Move now.
Great defence from the Robins on their own try line. He's lost that ball. It's a knock-on and Whitehead furious. And there's a penalty for something said. And that could be the end. We've been saying that for about the last 15 minutes. That could be the game.
He goes to plant the ball down. Obviously the Hull KR defender can't get out of the way. I think it's Graham Horn.
Well done, Hull KR, though, Tez. I was watching the Robins during that defensive effort there. I was asking myself the question, how resilient are you when you're under pressure, you're under stress, how do you handle it? Well, they handled it in the affirmative on that occasion.
Well, Hull Kingston Rovers in action again on Tuesday night, and you can see that either via the iPad app or on Sky Sports Extra, which you can get to via the skysports.com website. That's 8 o'clock on Tuesday for Hull Kingston Rovers against Salford, and Hull FC in action against Wakefield on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Same process, either with the iPad app and go to the skysports.com website for Sky Sports Extra.
Move!
Here is Kevin Laroyer. Well, he looks as though he's going to be on the winning side against his hometown club. Well, it's not his hometown club, technically speaking. He's played a lot of his rugby league there, grew up in Toulouse, in fact. Played for Toulouse Olympique before joining the Dragons. And Maurice Blair hoists that ball. Great claim from Kieran Dixon. And offside is the call from referee Phil Bentham. Just a bit too keen they were to get to that ball.
Again, though, there's some height on this kick.
Offside.
From Blair. Well, he's given offside.
Who was offside then?
Keep coming back.
There was our player offside, but I don't think he was in the chase.
Kieran Dixon certainly wasn't.
No.
Well, Catalan throwing everything to the wind in these closing minutes. They've got to. 5 minutes to go. They need to score 2 converted tries to take this to golden point extra time. Muniz finds Benjamin Garcia.
2. Move, Kevin.
Laroyer with the tackle.
Go 2.
Rovers will go through to the semi-finals, barring any last-minute drama here, and reach the semi-finals for the first time since 2006. They've got a penalty, though.
Play on.
29 years since Rovers last appeared in a Challenge Cup final at Wembley. They lost 15-14 to Castleford in 1986. Well, there's the small matter of a semi-final to get through before they can think of that. But now they look on course for it. Stan Robban now. Laroyer again with the tackle.
Goal 2.
Escaré. Oh, and Kelly late on Escaré there. Something going on between those two. Pomeroy
3.
carries on.
Move.
Little ill feeling between Morgan Escaré and
3.
Albert Kelly.
Hold, goal 3.
Hasn't been a comfortable second half this for Hull KR. Catalan have come fighting back. Now here's Fouad Yaha. Mantolato is shrugged aside by this burly winger. He is a brute. I told you, he's Carney-esque. He's lost that ball, and
well, it was Albert Kelly. It was Albert Kelly who added the weight, and I've heard people say that Albert Kelly can't defend. I'll tell you, he can. Puts his body on the line, puts his shoulder into the ribs of whoever he's tackling, and he dislodges that ball. Is there a knock-on? Kieran Dixon at the dummy half. I think he's questioning the play of the ball. There's a mistake.
Don't worry.
It's Budebza who plays the ball. Oh, there's nothing wrong with the play of the ball. It's no good looking at Budebza. Watch Albert Kelly.
Yeah.
He adds the weight. And Fouad Yaha, who hasn't had much to do in the second half. You just felt for a second there as he was skipping across the defenders, it might lead to something.
Now, fellas.
When I said Carney-esque, I meant
Let's get in
Justin
there.
Carney-esque.
You meant Justin, not Brian.
Out, time on.
Although the bit when he dropped the ball was reminiscent of Brian.
Pomeroy is
First. Move.
skipped across the face of the posts. Well, Catalan have salvaged a bit of pride in this second half.
Second. Move now.
But they left themselves with too much to do in a first half that was dominated by Hull Kingston Rovers.
Third. Move.
Catalan were always going to come back into this game.
They had to show character. In a cup game, it doesn't matter how well you play, it's just about getting your name in the
Little
hat.
grubber kick. Whitehead gets another Catalan try. And Catalan, well, fair play to them. They've given it everything in this second half. And their little, and I mean little, band of supporters celebrates an Elliot Whitehead try. His 9th of the season.
Well, it won't feel particularly pleasurable for Hull KR. It was important for the Dragons for next week that they came back into this game. As you quite rightly say, Bell, it was that impeccable start from the Robins that has got them this game.
Giroud hasn't had his best night with the boots, but that one is on target. Could Catalan snatch this or take it at least a golden point extra time?
Well, they're giving themselves a chance, and it's that man again. There could have been a knock-on from Muniz. There could have been. Let's have another look. Here's Henderson. No, he catches it. A nice little kick into space. Kieran Dixon has it for a second, and Elliot Whitehead snatches it out of his hands.
A minute to go. Laurent Frazinou. Well, what a game he's had to endure. Infuriated at what happened in the first half, and he's seen his side turn it around in the second to the extent that they've given themselves a chance. But that's what Rovers need, and it was Kelly chasing that kick ahead. It's going to need some magic. The magic man, Todd Carney,
Second. Move
out
now.
of action.
They have to force the game. They have to offload it.
Into the last minute, Pomeroy looking to keep it alive, but Rovers snuffing out the danger there. 30 seconds to go. Muniz, Giroud just manages to keep a hold of it. It reaches Fouad Yaha. He kicks ahead. He'll chase it. And Rovers will see off the threat. Dixon will pick it up. And Hull Kingston Rovers can celebrate a place in the Challenge Cup semi-finals for the first time since 2006. Rovers supporters can think about a trip to Wembley. They've won this one, not as convincingly as it looked as though they would do at half-time, when they led by 26 points to 4. Elliot Whitehead among the try scorers in the second half for the Catalan Dragons. The Dragons have won the second half. 4 tries to 1. They've outscored the Robins, but Hull Kingston Rovers made the most of their possession in the first 40 minutes. And they have withstood a tremendous Catalan fight back. Whitehead among the try scorers in the second half. And those Rover supporters, well, it's been an anxious second half for them. But their side weathered the storm. And Josh Mantolato's contribution was crucial in this performance. Kieran Dixon, one of the Rovers try scorers. They can think of a Challenge Cup semi-final next month. Zev Teja going through shot. How Rovers will have missed him. Catalan missed him rather. He still managed to score, but not enough for the Catalan Dragons. It's Rovers who celebrate. Josh Mantolato is the man of the match, and Rupert Thacker from Ladbrokes presents him with the champagne. And Angela will now grab a word with
You're
the
in the
Rovers
semi-final
point scorer.
of a semi-final of a Challenge Cup.
Yeah, you know, we made it very hard for ourselves in that second half. We started off really well, completed all our sets and scored a few points that first half, but our second half was real sloppy.
The second half they really come back, but you knew that would happen.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they like to throw the ball around, and as soon as they get one off later away, you know, they're hard to stop. And they were hard to stop tonight, but you know, thank God we scored enough points in the end.
That's it, a great start, wasn't it? You really got off to a blinder, but something about that second half you'll have to work on, and it's a short turnaround for your next one.
Yeah, it is. You know, we've got a game on Tuesday. Just with that last half, I hope we won't clock watch it because it's a pretty bad habit to get yourself into. So we'll look at their training this week and get ourselves ready for Salford on Tuesday.
A semi-final's going to be fantastic, though, isn't it? You're looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's great for the club, great for the fans. You know, they're the ones who deserve it. So yeah, we're going to celebrate with them.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
We've got Chris Chester now, the Hull KR coach. Chris, you're in the semi-finals, I just said, but that was hard work in the second half.
Yeah, really disappointed with that second half. I thought, you know, we did a lot of things well in that first half and put ourselves in a really good position, but, you know, we lacked any real energy that second half and composure, which is, you know, not like us.
Well, you didn't allow them to play their game really in that first half, did you? But you knew they would bring it back in the second.
Yeah, we knew the start were important. You know, they're generally fast starters, and, you know, we wanted to get out of the blocks quick. And yeah, we did well that first half, but, you know, really disappointed with the second half performance. But, you know, we're in the round for the semi-final now. That's all that matters.
Thanks very much for that, Chris.
Cheers.
And next we have Laurent Freysinou, the coach of Catalan Dragons. Laurent, you won the second half, but I don't suppose that's a consolation.
No, not at all. Credit to our boys. I think they are the dig. There is some.
It's one of those games, really, wasn't it? Where if you'd have got off to a good start, that could have been yours.
No. I think we made too many errors. I think our discipline wasn't the best tonight, but we had a dig and we come back into the game. I just need some feedback about how we concede 24 points when we should score, and yeah, there's some momentum during the game like I still don't understand.
Thanks for your time, Laurent.
Well, disappointment etched on the face of Laurent Freysinou. His side made a go of it in the second half. In the end, it was the goal kicking from man of the match, Josh Mantolato, that separated the sides. 6 kicks from 7 for Mantolato. Hull Kingston Rovers go into the semi-finals. Terry O'Connor, you join me pitch side. They clawed back that substantial lead that Hull Kingston Rovers had got themselves into, but Catalan Dragons will probably reflect and say the damage was done in the first half.
It was, Brian, I totally agree, and it seemed to be a different Hull KR side as well in the second half. The first 20 minutes was all about Catalan, and then Hull KR had a 10-minute spell, but
what do you put that down to?
Brian, probably the ill discipline. They didn't give a penalty away, Hull KR, in the first half. The second half, they give 10 penalties away. So there was not many mistakes during the game, but I think when Catalan look back on this game, it's definitely the start. The first 20 minutes, they absolutely lost this game.
Yeah, Josh Mantolato, it shows the value of having a goal kicker there, Terry, because, as I said, the Catalan Dragons came back into it. 4 tries to 1 in the second half, unable to convert a few of those, has cost them in the end.
It was, Brian, and Hull KR with a team that seemed to be on the the back foot, and when Ian Henderson was getting out from dummy half, that's always a worrying time when a hooker's running so much from dummy half, and that's exactly what Ian Henderson was doing. I think at times in the game they were trying to play around Hull KR, and when we've watched Catalan, we've watched every home game this year, they play through teams. They play off the back of good go forward. They weren't doing that this game, and by having Zeb Taylor on the side, I'm a huge Zeb Taylor fan, but they've gone into this game carrying an injury to one player, and it's difficult to come in. There's only 2 teams that have done it this year that have walked away with 2 league points, only 2 teams that have won, and to come here with just 12 men, and I think Zeb Taylor, I think that cost them, although he scored that try in the opening second.
What a 3 weeks it has been for Hull Kingston Rovers, back-to-back Super League wins, and now they find themselves in the Challenge Cup semi-finals for the first time since 2006.
Well, they'll be putting the feet up now, won't they, up over the next few days, and they'll be waiting to see who they're going to get, making sure that both sides are starting to knock each other about, but then they've got to focus now on the league next week, Brian.
Well, immediately after that semi-final draw, the Hull Kingston Rovers had to take the field again. You could see it on Sky Sports Extra and on the iPad app. That's 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Same venue, 8 p.m. on Wednesday, sees Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, and maybe with Kevin Locke in their side, hosting Hull FC. Those 2 games are going to be crucial to decide who makes those 7, 8, maybe 6, 7 and 8 spots when the top 8 break away. And 2 games that will affect the top of the table. Warrington Wolves on Thursday at the Halliwell Jones Stadium host the Wigan Warriors, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 1 for that one. And then it's a top of the table clash. Friday, July the 3rd, 7:30 p.m. live on Sky Sports 1 from Headingley. These Rhinos, St Helens. What a match that promises to be. But before all that, make sure you join us tomorrow night. We go 6 miles down the road, 3 miles as a crow flies, on Sky Sports 3 to the KC Stadium. The 2014 Challenge Cup champions, Leeds Rhinos at Hull FC. Thanks very much to you, Terry O'Connor. What an entertaining second half. Catalan Dragons valiant, but it's Hull Kingston Rovers that march on.